Welcome to DRI channel. In this video, I talk about the principles of design. Principles of design of a building are based on specific purpose and the varied needs of the building. The following ordering principles are visual methods that allow the form and space of the building to coexist in order to make a design complete. First is unity. The concept of unity describes the relationship between the individual parts and a whole of composition. The aspects of a given design that are necessary to tie the composition together to give it a sense of wholeness or to break it apart and give it a sense of variety. Second is symmetry. The balanced distribution of equivalent forms and shapes about a common line or point. An axial condition can exist without a symmetrical condition. The converse is not possible. A symmetrical condition requires a balanced arrangement of an equivalent pattern of form and space about a common line and point. There are two types of symmetry. First, bilateral symmetry refers to balanced arrangement of equivalent elements about a common axis. Second, radial symmetry consists of equivalent elements balanced about two or more axes that intersect at a central point. Third is balance. It is the arrangement of the objects in a given design as it related to their visual weight within a composition. Balance usually comes in three forms: symmetrical, asymmetrical, and radial. Equal visual units, right and left bottom of the imaginary center point. Fourth one is harmony. It is the usual satisfying effect of combining similar or related elements. Elements are combined to adjacent their similarities, adjacent colors, similar shapes. Fifth is axis. A line drawn between 2 points in space and about the which forms and spaces can be arranged in a regular or irregular manner. The axis is the most elementary means of organizing forms and spaces, although imaginary and not visible. An axis is a powerful dominating and regulating device. It is to establish symmetry and balance. An axis is a linear condition which has length and direction. It allows for weave and movement along its path. To define an axis, it should be terminated at both ends. Sixth is scale. It is referred to the size of an object or objects in relation to the surrounding. The size refers to definite measurements, while scale describes the size relationship between adjacent objects. It is proportion of one object to another. It also means the relationship of an object with a designated standard such as building or a person. Seventh is proportion. It is the relationship in scale between one element and another, between a whole object and more of its parts. Differing proportion within a composition can relate it to the different kinds of balance or symmetry and can help establish visual weight and depth. Eighth one is dominance. It relates to vary degree of emphasis in design. Something in the work must dominate. A high point or climax occurring in the work or the dominating of a design element. Stresses given to an elements of an composition by means of contrast, color, shape, etc. Ninth is contrast. It means absence of monotony. In architecture, it is a use for creating interesting and exhibiting variety. Different qualities in a form, interest generated in a work by using variety of spaces, forms, textures, and so on. 10th is order. This concept is related to the overall organization and structure of a design. Order without diversity result in a monotony or boredom. Examples: axis, symmetry, rhythm, datum, and transformation. 11th is hierarchy. The importance of significance of a form or space based on its size, shape, or placement related to each other forms of the organization. The principles of hierarchy is based on the fact that the most architecture buildings have real differences among their forms and spaces. These different that reflect degree of importance of these forms and spaces. 12th is rhythm or repetition. The use of recurring patterns to organize a series of like form or spaces. Rhythm refers to regular of lines, shapes, form or color. The concept of rhythm is commonly used to organize forms and spaces in architecture. All building types of elements that are repetitive, beams and columns repetitive themselves to form repetitive structure bias or modules, bias and modules of space. Windows and doors are built into a wall at regular interval to allow lights, air and people to enter its interior and to provide various viewpoints to the surrounding landscape. 13th is datum, a line, plane or volume that by its community and regularity helps to organize a pattern of forms and spaces. A series of elements can be arranged along a axis which serves as a datum. The datum needs to be a straight line. It can also be planar or volumetric in form. Given a random organization of dissimilar elements, a datum can organize this element in the form based a line, a plane, a volume. By Dear Raj, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.